Welcome in to Fantasy Sanctuary. It is week 2, and I've got some DFS must plays for you that are going to help you crush those lineups over on DraftKings this weekend. We're going to hit 5 players, going to try and give you reasoning behind all of them. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button because we've got loads more content on the channel. Okay, first one, San Francisco versus the LA Rams. It's Puka Nacua. Last week we saw, you can see on screen there, he had a 40% target share. That is wild, for a 5th-round rookie to come in and be tied with Tyreek Hill for 15 targets on the week. That's incredible. And Matthew Stafford looked great. He had 334 passing yards in a situation we might not have expected. And Puka Nacua, he finished 6th among all week 1 players in yards per route run, tied for first in the league in targets, and he ran 74% of his routes on the perimeter. So it's not just a case of gadget plays, but what was really impressive was seeing how much Sean McVay schemed stuff for him. He had him in motion. There was definitely a concerted effort to make sure that Puka Nacua was getting the ball early, often, and throughout the game. So I'm absolutely in on Puka this week at 4,900. I think he's going to be a chalky play. So if you're playing DFS cash game, multipliers, double ups, those sort of things, you can just plug and play him. If you're playing tournaments, you probably want to consider how you're going to build around him because you're going to need to get different elsewhere within your lineups because of how chalky he might be. Let's move over to the next one. And it is Keenan Allen. I'm so high on Keenan Allen this week. I'm so high on Keenan Allen for this season as well. But I think everybody's going to want to play Josh Kelly at 5,000 with Austin Eckler, most likely to miss out. And I'm not saying that's a mistake. In cash games, you can play Josh Kelly. But Keenan Allen, Keenan Allen at 7,100. I like that a lot. He's playing against the Titans, who surrendered the second most fantasy points to opposing slot receivers last week. I think this game is going to run through Keenan Allen. He had 9 or more targets in 7 of his last 8 games, dating back to when he came back from injury last year. The Titans, they're good against the run, bad against the pass. In those situations, we always want to be targeting the players who can see the most volume. And I like Keenan Allen for virtually all formats this week. But if you're looking to play in tournaments, I like stacking Justin Herbert with Keenan Allen and Chigozie Okonkwo on the other side of things. I think that's a stack which has lots of potential. We'll move on to the next player in just a minute. But you can see these slides here. These are from our weekly matchups preview. We go game by game. We talk about it from a DFS point of view. We talk about it from Dynasty. We cover it all. It's about an hour long each week. Check out the channel. You really enjoy that if you're enjoying this video. Let's move on to the next player. And it is Anthony Richardson. Week 1, it was slightly surprising for Anthony Richardson as he took more sacks than we were possibly expecting because he was so good at evading them in college. So maybe that doesn't quite translate over to the NFL as much as we'd hoped. But it doesn't really matter for fantasy football because Richardson was second amongst all quarterbacks in runs last week. He had 10. Only Daniel Jones had more. And the Colts running back room, it's banged up. It's not particularly good. If you're holding up Zach Moss as a great play, coming back off a broken wrist, I mean, I've seen enough Zach Moss to know that Anthony Richardson is going to be a far more effective runner than Zach Moss. And it was positive to see Michael Pittman get really used last week. He came very close to a 100-yard game. It was great to see. So perhaps Anthony Richardson might take more sacks than we expected, but he's also going to might just be slightly better in the passing game. According to Sam Hoppen of FantasyPros, the Colts snapped the ball with an average of 15 seconds left on the clock on average last week. They were playing fast. We want teams who play fast. Shane Steichen has played fast with the Eagles, and now he seems to have brought that over to the Colts. The Texans, they also played fast against the Ravens last week. So this game just feels like it could have sneaky upside if both teams are just looking to keep playing fast, keep the other team on the back foot. That's what we want. More plays, more points. That's DFS. That's the way to go with it. And as you can see here, I'm not high on the running game. Deion Jackson, there's no way that he's going to be seeing a lot of play this week. Zach Moss, I've seen enough Zach Moss. We'll move on. If you're enjoying this DFS content, each week on the Fantasy Sanctuary Discord, I write up my DFS deep dive. It is a very comprehensive preview of the week. I've got usage suggestions in there, stacks that I like. You can join for less than the price of coffee per week. Hit the join button down below. And then when you choose and join, hit the golden deck chair. see, it's about $6 a month, and that is going to get you so much DFS content. Moving on, Rachaad White, he gained 39 yards under expectation in week 1. I mean, that is bad. It's horrendously bad. And Rachaad White continues to look like he's not an efficient runner in any way, much like his rookie season. But it might not matter because the Bucs continue to have faith in him. Rachaad White was one of 2 running backs to see 100% of their team's red zone snaps last week, and he ranked 5th amongst running backs with 79% of the total snaps. This week, they're playing the Bears. The Bears are just straight up bad. There's no reason to sugarcoat it at this point. They allowed a league-leading 103 receiving yards to Packers running backs last week. Rachaad White can absolutely capitalize on that, or in theory, he should be seeing enough checkdowns or enough simple passes that he can add plenty of value. And at 5,500, it's a play that I'm very much happy to take. Moving on, we've got Luke Musgrave. My God, Luke Musgrave came so close to having an absolute blow-up week last week, but it just wasn't to be. He fell over at the 5-yard line. He got tripped or kind of knocked, and that stopped him getting in for a touchdown there. And then he was overthrown just slightly on what could have been a 50-yard receiving touchdown. Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari this week said that's a play they've worked on all through training camp, and every time Luke Musgrave is completely open. This team, they're designing big plays for the rookie tight end. And I know it's scary playing a rookie tight end, but this isn't redraft. This is DFS. We're looking for ceiling. And at 3,200, going up against the Falcons defense that last year surrendered the 5th most fantasy points to the tight end position and just gave Hayden Hurst a decent week 1. I think we can absolutely go back to the well on Luke Musgrave. It seems like the kind of play which we should be all over. So that's all 5 of those players. Like I say, this is a rapid video. We're just going to give you the plays and set you up for them. If you want more DFS content, subscribe to the channel. Hit the join button. You are going to find a lot more useful stuff that's going to help you make money. Check out the channel. We'll be back soon.